Hello everybody, my name is Troublmaker, and today I'll be showing a match that I played recently based on the philosophy that I brought through last week with Wargame Tactics. Now, what I said was that in every single 1v1 map, there is a line you can draw through the middle. Now, Foxtrot and Alpha are contestable zones. That is, we should be hypothetically fighting over these. However, 1v1 maps are quite wonky. There is a line straight through here. Now, with this map, it's not so straight. I mean, we can take the road here and go this way, or we can take the road over here and go this way. But, all the same, we have a straight path. So, I'm going to be playing this straight up. I'm going to be rushing my units through a straight line, and my opponent will be playing with the flanks in mind. Now keep in mind, in the video, what I indicated was that going for the flanks is a mistake. You can send some units here, not many, one, possibly, two, maybe, but don't put a huge investment in getting here. Especially with things like this, airborne units. Ooh, so bad. Another thing I have suggested in the past is you only open with one command. One command, because if you get a second command, you have 100 points less of units. On maps like these as well, an FOB, your FOB, your forward operating base, whatever you want to call it, is a bad investment just because it is a long-term investment. You want to get that great short-term investment early on so that your opening push is a strong one. Opening pushes do not win the game, but they sure as hell do not hurt. So yes, this of course is me, Sergeant Major Troublemaker. Been playing about 2 ladder games total. What composition of units am I using here? You're probably wondering. This is a US mechanized deck, which is weird because most of my units here are tanks. So I have MBT 70s lead the charge. I have a single heavy tank, the MIIP Abrams, or M11P Abrams. And then I have a lot of pivots, some of these little CS things, a few Bradleys, a recon unit going here, and 2 mortars. So, you know, it's a pretty decent mix of units here. Mostly ground-based, obviously, with 1 helicopter recon. So we're going to go ahead and speed to the actual battle, and worth noting, my opponent has put a pretty heavy investment towards Alpha and a pretty light investment towards Foxtrot. He has 2 of these MiG-23 MLDs, and pause for a second, what is he doing here? This is 2 90-point aircraft to support 3 helicopters. He really wants to win this air battle. So he brings them in, and unfortunately for him, there's not really much to shoot down. So you're going to go for my recon helicopter, which is worth 50 points. Unfortunately, he's going to run close to my AA network, which is pivots. Oh, I also have the PIP here, the iHawk PIP 3, which gets 1 shot off and misses, of course. And I did suggest saying you can put 1 unit over here. In this case, I put cavalry scouts to try and scout at this area. I haven't carried in a super dragoon, so he can fend off some units, some tank units. But I don't realize that he actually has helicopters here. So, yeah. I have split up my forces into 2 distinct flanks here. The reason for this is quite simply, I see he has air units. It's possible he also has bombers. It's possible he's gone for a totally airborne deck. And I want to be prepared for that. And yeah, these are mistakes, by the way. These are all mistakes. And it's not like I'm playing like a really newbie guy. His rank is bigger than mine, much bigger. So he should be well prepared for this. Nope, good on him. He has 2 recon vehicles going behind my lines. Very good on him. And I see the helicopters, and that kind of signals to me like he's got a pretty massive investment on this eastern flank. And because he's done that, I decided to go ahead and push on. Now, a lot of his units here are recon, and recon are great. Recon are useful. But unfortunately, they have this one huge problem where they don't really match up in engagements. You actually need physical units. And worth noting, his actual number of units here is not very high. He has the BMP-3, a very good vehicle, a Shivka for anti-air, 10 Motorstrogi, 15 Moskoye Pehertas, a single command, and here's more, which he actually intended over here, or actually you have to walk in over here. He's also rallying it under command here. A very unwise decision. He's trying to get ahead by skimping where he can. He's opted to move this command here, which could cost him the game, easily. He's hoping that his defenses here are enough to hold off all of this, and Obviously, it doesn't seem like it will be. Now, he is getting a little bit lucky. My anti-air does fall a little bit behind, so he's able to get a few pot shots off of these rockets before the wave of tanks comes in here. And it is a wave, and note, nice wide angle attack here. I'm actually microing every single, well, not all of them, but most of these guys pretty well individually, just picking off little groups. This is obviously a ball that I'm moving together. But most of these, as you see, they're separated, are being moved individually. Moving this pivots back so the BMP-3 cannot get him, and moving on in where there's, the Scoria. So I got my riflemen out, and, you know, they're going to make short work of this. And here comes some rocket helicopters. Rocket helicopters especially useful against infantry. And here he goes, Shazam with a miss, and Shazam with another miss. Like, he hit something, but it wasn't worth what he did. And here comes the rocket helicopters, all very dangerous, all very powerful. And really, at this point, he's doing quite well in defending this. His only downside, he rallied out this extra command. Not even a cheapy one. It's 130.1. And given my lack of anti-air here, I have pivots. There is a pip that was just restocked and is moving forward. But getting with these helicopters can be very, very important. But note, there's nothing here anymore. So, since there's no real resistance, that means we can actually just push into the main. Since he left all this here, keep in mind that's a lot of units. I was successful in breaching through this Delta base, and now I can go through and go for the throat. I'm moving in my MPT-70s first, separate of the CSs, just because I want them to do the damage. And, oh god, Abrams is gonna die! I cried when this happened. I swear to God, I cried tears, and yes, it happened that way. And yeah, I successfully secured Delta, which is a 2-point base. It's way worth more than this 1-point base over here. So my MPT-70s are moving in, wiping out all the reinforcement line. And note, there's only one reinforcement point each. And oh yeah, this is a really cool moment for him. He has these recon vehicles coming in. And they do pretty good stuff. One has an actual decent cannon. The other one is mostly for anti-infantry. And he reveals himself, and I'm going, oh no. Actually, I don't even notice initially, which is rather embarrassing. I'm too focused on this. I think there's a command around here. I kill this command, but he's getting some pot shots off, and I just don't notice. And he's moving in with the BRDM-2. He knows exactly where the command is. And he goes in, and he kills my reinforcement command. Luckily for me, I had actually just rallied out this command here into Bravo, and was able to do something about that. And he's totally invisible to me right now. I can't see him. Except for right now. I do have units out to take care of this, all that stuff. I'm in a much better position than he is. He is in a terrible position. He has no command here. He can't rally out new units. I'm +2 bleeding him. He has one command over here in the woods, which eventually he's going to have to move back, but there's not really a great path. And so for now, I'm moving out my CSs, my MPT-70s, and actually that's all I have here, to try and go hunt down. One problem, I'm running low on fuel. Long supply lines are brutal in this game. Yes. In the meantime, my big concern here is this BRDM-3. No, I'm not moving this command back immediately. I'm not freaking out, going like, oh my god, I need that command back. Because one, I don't have planes. And two, this is a +2. I'm bleeding him twice as fast as I would if I was here. So I'm really just interested in getting rid of this recon first, and then moving back after. Because I still haven't found this command here. And once again, once this command is dead, that's it. He is done sauce. Ooh, BMP-3s. They're very, very good. But they are vehicles, not tanks. He's in a really hot spot here. He's not getting into units. And because this is Conquest, he's still getting the exact same number of points as me. So once he can get his command in place, he can rally out a whole bunch of units. But for now, lots of trouble. My response to this, quite simply, is to get my command out to Charlie. Grab that. And start playing standard. I want him out of here. So I have map control. I own the bottom part of Alpha. He doesn't have anything there. I own all of Delta. And Foxtrot, nothing. So I can actually just win the game straight up without having to rely on this rush. I'm moving all my units back. Unfortunately, they're all running out of fuel. So they will never be able to get in a decent position to actually do anything. Rather unfortunate. And yes, the command does in fact come into position and take its spot. So now, you know, the game's kind of reset, but not really. Because now I'm so much more ahead. and he's rallying out tanks, which, you know, a good choice, but you need a lot of them to make a huge difference, and I don't think that's what's happening here for him. And as you can see by the timer here, he does eventually tap out. I just wanted to show what you know, how you can have a pretty big failure here. And this is rather interesting. He rallied out this extra command here, and accidentally I spotted it. I think this is the thing that made him quit. He just saw that happen. It's like, I hate so much. I hate life. This is like a super vetted unit, by the way. He actually kills a helicopter, which I think is a bit crazy. And yeah, not much else to this game. Relatively uninteresting game. Huge differences. Pretty average for myself. And yeah, always charge towards the middle. The middle is the key.